Yo, what is up, Sexy Beast? Crazy Rabbit here, and today we're going to be comparing the original World War STG to the new and improved Black Ops 3 version, and then taking a look at both these weapons on round 50, so let's go ahead and get the shit started. So we are not going to be comparing every single STG, we're not going to be comparing all four of them, we're just going to be looking at the oldest and the newest, just because if I were to have all four STGs in this one video, it would get kind of hectic, and I don't really think it would look that good, so we're just going to be looking at the oldest and the newest. And real quick, the first thing I'm going to do is let you guys watch and listen to each of these versions, both the unupgraded and the upgraded one, just that way you guys can actually see and hear the differences, and overall decide for yourself which one you think looks and sounds better. So here you go. So the STG in Zombies has been a very overlooked weapon. It really hasn't been a fan favorite that much, and no one really ever talks about it or grabs it. There's just always been a better choice, like the Thompson, the AN-94, the KN-44, the Vesper, the Commando, the Galil, you name it, and probably a lot of the Zombies community would prefer that weapon, unless we're talking about like the SMR, over the STG. Now the STG is not a terrible weapon, I would say it's pretty much a benchmark average across the board. It doesn't excel at anything, and it's not god-awful at anything. But I definitely do think throughout the years the STG has definitely gotten better, and when it comes to overall sound and looks, I'm kind of torn. The unupgraded versions, I definitely do think the Black Ops 3 STG sounds a lot better, and when it comes to looks, I kind of really like the original World War like thin STG, like that thing was paper thin, but I also do like the Black Ops 3 one, so I'm kind of tied there. And when it comes to the sound of the pack-a-punched ones, I definitely think the World War STG is a lot better, and when it comes to the overall looks, I definitely have to give it to the Black Ops 3 one. So having said all that, let's go ahead and start these tests. So the first test we're going to be looking at is going to be the fire rate. I line up both these weapons side by side and I start shooting. The Black Ops 3 STG is going to be a little bit faster. I would say when the Black Ops 3 STG is done shooting, the World War one still has about 5 shots left, so it's not that much faster, but it still does have a faster fire rate. And hypothetically, if the World War version and the Black Ops 3 version were in the same map, and you were to use one right after the other, you would probably notice that the World War one is a little bit slower. And when it comes to the overall accuracy, oh my god, you have to give this one to the Black Ops 3 version. Man, that World War STG had some fucking coil. This is probably like one of the reasons everyone just strayed away from it. That, and also probably because of its position and just the overall damage it dealt, wasn't really that good. But goddamn, that World War STG had some really bad recoil. Like even using this thing on round 50, it was a struggle to keep that thing down, man. It just wants to go straight up. It doesn't go left. It doesn't go right. It literally, you guys can see in the footage, makes a line that goes straight up. And even when hip firing, it's a huge pain in the ass. Now you can control it, but it's just kind of difficult, and you are really going to have to keep like a conscious effort to actually keep that thing down because it really wants to go up. While with the Black Ops 3 version, it kind of just bobs left and right, and that's really about it. Even when hip firing, it's got a really good hip fire, doesn't really have that big of a spread, it's really tight and compact. When it comes to accuracy, you have to give it to the Black Ops 3 version. It's not going all over the place, it's not getting all spread out, it's going to be nice, tight, and compact, and you're going to be able to put those bullets exactly where you want them to go. And lastly, if we take a look at the reload speed, I would say they're going to be dead even in overall length. The animation's a little bit different. Some parts in the animation in the World War STG were sped up, and other parts were slowed down. The overall animation's the same, it's just some aspects are sped up a little bit on different versions. So now that we have all that said and done, let's go ahead and take a look at the ammo. Let's start with the World War STG first. So the Stg-44 unupgraded is going to carry 180 in stock and 30 in the magazine. So really not that much ammo. You're going to go through ammo very, very fast. And when you actually upgrade this thing to the Stg-447, it's going to carry 300 in stock and 60 in the magazine, which is a pretty decent amount of ammo for an assault rifle. I would probably give it a little bit more. But if we actually do take a look at all the other assault rifles and all the other weapons in World War, I would say 60 and 300 is actually pretty decent. Now if we take a look at the Black Ops 3 Stg-44, which is also going to be upgraded to the Stg-447, the unupgraded version is going to carry 30 more shots than the World War STG. It's going to carry 210 in stock and actually 30 in the magazine, so it's going to carry one more extra magazine, and the same can be said with the upgraded one. It's going to carry 330 in stock and 60 in the magazine. So overall, when it comes to ammo, you have to give it to the Black Ops 3 STG just because it carries one more magazine than the World War STG. Alright, so now we have both these weapons upgraded to the Stg-447. Let's go and take a look at those tests all over again. And if we start with the fire rate, nothing really changed here. The Black Ops 3 STG is going to be a little bit faster than the World War STG. nothing really changes. And if we take a look at the accuracy, again, nothing really changes. The World War STG just goes all fucking over the place. Like, I just can't get over how bad that recoil is in zombies. Like, in multiplayer, I don't believe, or at least I don't remember the recoil ever being that bad, because every now and then I would attempt to use it. But in zombies, goddamn, you just really go straight up. Not left, not right, not down, not inverse, not counterclockwise, not inverse counterclockwise. You go straight up. And it doesn't even go left or right when you go straight up. Like with a lot of other weapons, once you get to the max height the recoil will allow, it'll go left or right. The STG is just like, fuck this, I'm going straight up. While the Black Ops 3 Spaz-447 is going to behave very similar to the Black Ops 3 STG. It's just going to bob left and right, and that's really about it. So overall accuracy, you got to give it to the Black Ops 3 STG. And when it comes to the reload speed, it's going to be same as the upgraded versions. They're going to be dead even. Just the animations are a tad bit different. One sped up in certain spots and the other one's kind of slowed down. But in the overall length, the reload speed is going to be the exact same. So I really do like the STG in zombies. It's not like one of my all-time favorite weapons, but I do enjoy playing around with it. Like if I'm not trying to have like a serious game, sometimes I'll grab it in World War and just have some fun on it, go sit on the catwalk. It's by no means the strongest gun in zombies, but it's pretty decent. And if we actually move on to like Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3, well mainly just Black Ops 2 and 3 because you have Double Tap 2.0, the STG is a pretty decent weapon and I think is very, very overlooked. And especially in Origins, well that's really like the only map it's on, but you guys know what I mean. In my opinion, I think it's really, really overlooked, and I think the main reason for that is just because of its location. I feel like if it was in an earlier spot like where the MP40 is or something like that, a lot more people would probably end up buying this thing, but just because it's located at like the back near the church or down in the tunnel, not too many people are going to get that because by the time they get all that opened, they're probably going to have hit the box and got something better. So I really think if the STG was placed in a better location, then this weapon would be a lot more popular than it actually is. So by now, usually I tell you guys a story of me using this thing in multiplayer, but in Black Ops 3, I don't believe this weapon is a multiplayer. I could completely be wrong. I don't fucking know. I don't play Black Ops 3 multiplayer. And I really never used this thing in World War multiplayer. I used it occasionally, but mainly in World War, I just stuck with the Thompson, PPSH, MP40, and the Kar 98. I hardly ever touched anything else unless I was trying to like experiment or something. So I thought I can go ahead and talk to you guys about the importance of the STG in like real life. The STG is like the grandfather of assault rifles. It's basically what spawned all the cool goodies we have nowadays. If I remember this correctly, I didn't do any research, so this is all going off the top of my head. I believe the Nazis were really trying to push towards submachine guns. That's really what they wanted. They didn't want any more assault rifles or anything like that. They mainly wanted submachine guns. And I believe someone actually came up with the Stg-44, showed Adolf Hitler, and he's like, God damn, that's pretty dope. We need to make some more of that, and that's kind of how the STG came to be. They weren't really supposed to be making it. It really wasn't that sought after at the time, but once it was made, people saw how good it was, and people were like, God damn, let's make some more of that. And everyone else saw how good this STG was and basically tried to copy it and make their own versions of it, and certain parts of the STG can actually be seen in a lot of other weapons like the M16 and the AK-47. Now after World War II, I believe one of the guys who actually made the STG was actually picked up by the Russians, and the STG basically became the AK-47. Like the AK-47 was heavily influenced by the STG-44. So without this, we wouldn't have like one of the best guns to date. And the STG also heavily influenced the M16. Certain parts of the M16 were basically based off of the STG. So this weapon has a very, very huge impact in history, and I'm pretty sure I got all that right. I watch a lot of history videos on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure I got all that right, but it might be like a detail or two wrong, but you guys get the overall gist. The STG was a very, very important part in gun history. So with all that said, I'm basically just trying to get past the 10-minute mark. Let's go ahead and talk about both these weapons on round 50. Let's start with the World War version first. So when I started using this thing on round 50, I had to go back and re-get some footage because it's always so fun, because the original footage was terrible quality. So I went to round 50 and got the footage again, and one thing that I just really noticed was that this weapon is such a pain in the ass to use, especially against dogs. This weapon is so goddamn atrocious to use against those dogs. I just hated it. Every time a dog would come at me, I would like have to switch weapons and use something else against it, just because for some reason that STG is not good against dogs whatsoever. Well, at least the World War version isn't. And against zombies, it was okay. If I spent like 3/4 of a magazine, I would eventually get a kill, but it wasn't happening fast, and I was running through ammo very, very quick. It really just wasn't worth it in my opinion. When you have a bunch of other weapons like the Thompson that are actually going to kill pretty quick, and it's located in a better position, and its fire rate's a lot faster, and you can deal with dogs a lot easier, I just really would never see any reason to get the STG unless you just want to have some fun. It's a really fun, interesting weapon to use, but in terms of actual quality in zombies, it's just really not that good. I would say it's pretty average. It's really not amazing, but it's not god-awful. It's pretty benchmark. And if we go and take a look at the Black Ops 3 version, that's where things kind of changed. Now this all could be because of Double Tap 2.0, or it all could be because they upped the damage stats. Who really knows? But I will say this, the Black Ops 3 STG is actually pretty decent. It's going to be able to kill some zombies pretty quick, and you're going to be able to take out a pretty large number of zombies. Really the only problem I have with it is, it's either a box weapon or it's on Origins on the wall, but in Origins, it's really not located in the easiest spot to get to, so getting ammo isn't really always that easy. And again, this kind of loops back to what I said earlier. If it was just located in a better spot, or in Black Ops 2 and 3 it was located in more maps, I feel like it would definitely be a more sought after weapon, but sadly it is not, because as you guys can see on round 50 in Black Ops 3, this thing is actually pretty decent. It's actually really good. Definitely one of the best assault rifles in zombies, but once you're low on STG ammo, I really don't ever see myself like risking my life just to get more of it. So that is one thing I would change, as where the STG is actually located. I would put it in a much more prime location, and I really do hope this thing actually returns. In Call of Duty World War II, I used this thing in multiplayer, and at first it was really good. I'm not sure if they actually patched it, because I only really ever used it on PS4, and I was really good with it. It was definitely my go-to weapon. It was definitely my favorite one. So it's going to be very interesting to see what this thing is going to be like in Nazi zombies in Call of Duty World War II. Will it be good? Will it be bad? Only time will tell. We got about a month till that thing drops, and I really can't wait to get my hands on a bunch of World War II weapons again. It's going to be a blast. So thank you guys so much for watching, and real quick, shout out to my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. You guys help make these videos possible. You guys hear me say it all the time, but it's because it's true. My Patreon supporters are the sexiest. If you guys are curious about being a Patreon supporter, go and check the link in the description. They get videos early, the name on my head, extra content, a bunch of other cool stuff. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and check it out. And last but not least, go ahead and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. All those links will be in the description. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.